Hi everyone, hope everyone is doing great. So today we are going to talk about the human-centered design, what it is and why it is important in the UX industry. So if you are already in the UX design or the design industry, you might have already heard about this term. And for today's video, I'll be doing one thing. I'll be keeping the camera on one side and I'll be explaining this concept with the help of the presentation. I think it will be more easier. Now let us begin with the concept. If you have heard the term user-centered design or user-centered system design or somewhere like people-centered design, it's all are the same. The only difference in them is just the time. Earlier it was user-centered design, then it was evolved to people-centered design, and now we know it as human-centered design. So it's all are the same. Now let us see what is human-centered design. So it's all about the design system in which we design the solution by keeping the user in the center of the design, or we can say we are keeping the user in the heart of the design. We do this by focusing on the four key aspects, which is understanding the people and the scenario, like in the situation in which they are, finding the actual underlying cause of the problems, and by understanding that everything is interconnected and the part of a complex system. Then we do the small intervention in the system and solve that actual cause of the problem. And it's not the end. After that, the prototypes are made of the solution and testing of the prototype happens, like the solution which we have made will work for our users or not. And now let us see how the human-centered designs are made. This process is exactly same as the design thinking process. I already made a detailed video of that. I will attach the link in the description. If you want to watch, you can go and watch it. So I think I should give a quick overview of that video so you can recap it. For a good design, first we need to empathize with our user. We need to understand them, like being in their shoes. After understanding the user and being with them, we define the actual cause of the problem which they are facing. Then the ideation is done. On this step, the huge number of ideas are generated to solve the problem in the best way possible. Then the prototype of the solution is made. Prototype simply means that the design of the product is made, like how the product is going to look. Then the testing of the prototype happens. We check whether the design or the prototype which we made is really working for our user or not. It is solving the user's problem or not. Now let us see why the human-centered designs are required. The early computers which were came in the 1940s required the specialists to use them. But till the end of the 1980s, things got changed and wide numbers of people started using the computers. They were not the specialists and their problems started to arise. For an example, when people were using the code editor of the time, which was aid for the programming, after the long working day, people shut down the system, and next day, when they come back, turn on the system and get surprised like nothing is left, everything is vanished because last night they forgot to save the file. At that time, there was no prompts or dialog box which comes and appear before shutting down the system, like you forgot to save the file. But with the time, things got evolved. The prompts started to appear before shutting down the system. And if we talk about today, the feature like autosave is working, in which we not even want to manually save the file. It automatically saved to the cloud. So the designs should always be made by placing the human at the center, because human mind acts and respond differently according to the parameters and situations of the time. If these human behaviors are not taken into the consideration while designing, the disasters can happen. If we take an example of the plane crash or the train accidents, it's not always the fault of the pilot or loco pilot of the train, or it is not the problem of the system failure. It can be fault of the design. The accidents can happen if the pilot didn't get the required control at that crucial moment. So that's why the human-centered design is required. So now let us see a good examples of human-centered design around us. First is Apple brand. We consider it a good example because it's a simple and minimalist interface and user experience. It is very easy to use and understand, and it is usable for the users of any age. And I like the Apple for its upgrade and new models which they introduce every year, because they do not do a major change which affect their user experience. They maintain the user experience of their product and do a small intervention to solve the problem which users are facing. One more reason for which the user prefer Apple products because of its ecosystem. It's a seamless connectivity between their devices and different products. Whether it's a MacBook or iPhone or iPad, you can start your work in one device and continue it on the another without any hard work of file transfers and all. So by this kind of features and functionality, Apple has made its place in the heart of the users. The second good example for the human-centered design is of the IKEA. IKEA is a good example because of its affordability. If we talk about the normal pre-made furniture which we purchase from the local market or the local shops are little bit expensive than the furniture which we purchase from the IKEA. This is happening because of the one innovation and one idea which IKEA came with. I'm sure that everyone knows it already. It's their flat pack furniture. It's not just easy to carry or you think they are doing it so we can easily take it home in our personal car. They have introduced the flat pack furniture to reduce the actual cost of the furniture by saving the expenses in the transportation and also the saving the assembling expenses in the manufacturing process. And after all this, their customers are also happy because they are getting the chance to assemble the furniture on their own, which is giving them a unique experience in itself. And after assembling the furniture by own, the customer or indirectly we can say the users are getting kind of accomplishment. And this is how the IKEA solved the pricing problem of the furnitures by not doing any compromise in the quality of the furniture or product and also giving the unique experience to its customers. And IKEA is not only unique for their flat pack furniture, they have also done a lot of innovation in their stores. Like they have designed the stores layout in such a way like fully room setups and position their furniture in that room for the sale, which helps user to imagine how the product will look, how the furniture will look in their own personal room. So by this kind of amazing innovation, we can consider IKEA a good example of human-centered design. Now I hope you got some idea about what is human-centered design. It is the process in which we keep the user in the center of the design process. You empathize with your user and bring the solution with their participation and also understand that everything is a part of the complex system. So we are finishing our today's video. I hope you understand about this concept. And if you want to learn more about UI UX, you can like and subscribe this channel. And if you have any doubt related to this topic or in the UX, you can comment down below. I will try to make the separate video on it. Thank you everyone. Goodbye.